How's it going, guys? Coach Javi here. Welcome back to the channel. We're back at it again at the Detroit City Fieldhouse, where we're going to do another individual training session. Apparently, the voiceover method was pretty popular. I looked down in the comment section. A lot of you guys said that you guys liked how I did the voiceover, where I walk you through each individual exercise. So that's what we're going to do for today's video once again. If you guys have any topics that you guys want me to cover in these individual training sessions or in these partner training sessions, go ahead and leave those down below, and I'll try to get to as many of those as I can. Today, we're still working on a little bit of rehab recovery. Coach Javi's been injured, pulled a hamstring, getting old. So I'm trying to slowly work my way back into being fit. We're gonna work on some receiving, some passing, and a little bit more specifically, we're gonna work on some turns. So being able to receive the ball, checking your shoulder, being able to bring it back, get your body facing forward so that you can play into a target, you can play into a goal, or pass in between the lines. So we're gonna bring this bad boy back out. If you guys are OGs of the channel, then you know I used to use this with Isak. It's the Titan 2 GPS sensor, and apparently it works indoors, so we're gonna test that out. We are also repping my boy Champion Grind, George Chamakov's company. I'm gonna be using some of his merch in today's video. I'm gonna leave the link down in the description. Let's get straight into it. We're gonna start off with the resistance bands. I like to do these as the warm-up because it really activates all the leg muscles, the quads, the hamstrings, the calves. And we're gonna do probably about 6 or 7 different variations of these. I'll leave the link in the description below so you guys can go ahead and purchase them if you want. So if you're unfamiliar with resistance training, it's basically just based on the principle that the muscles of the body will work to overcome a resistance force when they're required to do so. If you do enough resistance training, your muscles are going to become stronger. So it's a good way to activate your muscles. It's a good way to incorporate some strength training as well. There's so many different variations you can do specifically for soccer players, but just in general to get those muscles activated. So for today's session, we're going to really be focusing on the turns. And the great part about this session is that the setup is going to be very simple. So the way you see everything set up is going to be basically the same way we're going to have it throughout the entire session. So we're not going to set up 4 or 5 different exercises. We're just going to take things away as we go along with this session. So for the first exercise, very, very simple. We're just focused on making sure we hit that ball with some nice accurate pace. Hitting it at the exact same spot on the wall every single time and completely stopping it before we move back through the hurdles. Make sure when you go through the hurdles that you get your knees up and that you move your arms in sync with your legs. That's just going to help with your coordination. So the progression of this exercise is we're going to play a pass off the wall, but instead of just going back through the hurdles, we're actually going to open our hips up. We're going to try and receive with that farthest foot, and we're actually going to take a touch to set ourselves up and then play into that target goal. So the idea is, as we make that pass, we check our shoulder, we scan what's behind us, and that we also adjust our body so that we can receive it with that outside foot. And then on that second touch, you should already be facing in the direction that you want to play. So you might have to take an extra touch to set yourself up. Make sure you take a positive touch so that you can run onto the ball and hit it with some pace. What I'm also going to be doing is, after these turns, I'm going to incorporate some footage of Sergio Busquets, one of the best center midfielders in the world, and I just want to show you guys kind of what it looks like at the highest level. So very simple turns. For the first set, you're going to see him receive the ball with that outside foot, and he's just going to be able to play forward and break some of these lines. So you can kind of see how I replicate that, the body positioning, make sure that plant foot right when you're about to pass the ball is facing your target. Again, still getting into the habit of checking your shoulder before you receive the pass. I can't stress how important that is. So for the next exercise, maybe your body isn't in the right position to be able to receive it with that farthest foot. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to replicate, maybe the ball gets a little bit further out in front of you. You're going to have to drag it back with the bottom of your foot, and then that's how you're going to turn and play that ball. So the good thing about this one is that when you're playing in a game, you're facing in one direction. That's going to mislead the defender to think that you're going in that direction. You're going to drag it back, and then you're going to open up and play the ball. So we're going to see some Sergio Busquets highlights. Very, very simple. He's stuck under pressure. He has to drag the ball back, go into the opposite side, and then he plays a simple pass into his teammates to break lines or just to keep the ball moving forward. Again, make sure every single exercise you repeat with both feet. So if you do one with the right foot, make sure you do the same thing with your left foot. Even if it's a little bit slower on that weak foot, make sure you keep practicing so that you can do it on both sides, because there's going to be a lot of game situations where you're not going to be set up in the perfect position, so you're going to have to use that left foot or you're going to have to use that right foot to get away from the pressure. For the last exercise and for the last variation of the turn, now we're going to be with our back completely to the goal. We're going to play a few passes off the wall, and then we're going to see if we can turn quickly, face in the direction that we want to play, so facing maybe towards goal or to a teammate, playing forward, and then play that pass. So this one's a little bit different because now you got your entire back facing the goal or your target. It's a quick turn, trying to get a little bit of space between you and the defender just so that you can release that ball. You also see this with center mids where they're receiving the ball from maybe their center backs or even their goalkeeper. They're facing towards their own goal, and what they have to do is they have to turn quickly so that they can play forward. So this one's a little bit harder to execute because usually the defenders are not going to give you that much space, but if you can pull it off, you're going to be in a lot more dangerous situation and you're going to be able to break the lines a little bit easier. Alright guys, so I hope you guys liked the session. I hope you guys liked some of the clips that I put of Sergio Busquets. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. So what we're going to do for the next Train Yourself videos and just for the next individual training sessions is I'm going to try to do the same thing with the voiceover, but also I'm going to try to incorporate some clips of some of the best players in the world doing this at the highest level, just so you guys can see the relation between the exercise and the actual outcome, and you guys can see how it's done at the top. So that's it for today, guys. Until next time, and adios, muchachos.